Hi guys, hope you're all well. Thought it's about time I did an update. I've got the board number 3 I shaped that I did a review on back from my friend. He's quite happy for me to do a review on it, so I thought I'd show you guys how it came out. This is why we're in the lounge and the curtains are back, so it's back to the old school today. And yeah, as I say, there's a video for the shaping on it. This was like 9/7, 23.5, and I think it's 3 and a bit. And it's a professional glass job, so I can't take credit for how good the color and everything is. And it's pretty much my shape. The shaper very kindly sort of tickled it up. It's one of my early shapes, so he just had to tickle a few bits, which was very kind of him to do. And yeah, my friend had quite a he likes heavy glass job, so it's a polyurethane glass job, fairly heavy. I can't remember exactly what it is, but I think it's at least a 6 plus a patch on the top, and then I think it's might be a 6 and something else on the bottom. It's a fairly heavy board. I guess it's coming in. He likes his boards around 9 kgs. I think this was about 8.5, somewhere around there. So kind of a all-rounder shape. Nice rocker, pretty flat. Nice hard edge at the back. Nice rounded pin narrowing off down the end. It's I think this one we just went pretty much flat in the nose, and then it's just a bit of V and double out of the tail. So it's really simple. Feedback from my friend is like it's really fast. The shaper said that when he saw it as well. I said, oh, there's a few things that he said it might not turn as well, but my friend said it turns pretty good as well. And he was saying he's making sections that he doesn't make on any other board. So that's pretty cool. So the overall shape came out pretty good. So really happy with the shaper was very kind, doing a little tickle up, because I know it's not ideal for shapers to be finishing off other people's boards for them. It's time that they could be spending on their own stuff, but that was very good of him. And yeah, overall shape's pretty good. I'm really happy with how this came out. And yeah, just show you the backside. The colours are really nice. This guy's very good anyway with his glassing and colours, so yeah, really happy with that. And I say my friend's stoked with the job and the weight and the look. Went for a 2+1 setup. It's quite a nice down rail at the back, and then yeah, most of the rails fairly low and modern most of the way through. I might just see if I can come round and get the colour job a bit closer to the camera without damaging myself or anything else. So there you go, hopefully you guys can get a bit of this nice glass job. Got quite a thick stringer in it, 2+1. Yeah, that's come out really good, really pleased with this one. So I'll just roll on, and I'm going to show you, it's a very similar template, but one I'm just doing for myself at the minute, which is basically 9/1 version of this, just an all-rounder, just along the lines of those McTavish Fireballs and all those boards of the day that were just good all-rounders that are still around. So here's the one I'm shaping for myself. Just waiting on my good buddy Sam at Manana Surfboards, and we're going to glass it together, because I'm still at the stage where I'm just about getting around the short board before the glass starts to get sticky. So I'm a bit nervous about running around the longboard in that same amount of time. But yeah, this is looking pretty good so far. This one I think was 9/1, 20. I think it's still 23 and a 23.25, and it's about 3 at the stringer, but it's quite different at the rails. It pinches down quite good at the rails. As you could probably see, it's quite slim in the nose. I don't really do any nose riding, so I didn't see the downside of having a thinner nose and a bit less swing weight at the front. Nice mild rocker. The nose rocker is pretty low, and then I ended up with a little bit more tail rocker than perhaps I planned, but it's actually probably come out spot on, to be honest, for what I'm trying to use it for. Modern rail, down rail. It's like a hard edge in the back. Modern rail. 80/20. Just your normal modern rail. Really nice outline. Total all-rounder shape. So let's see. Yeah, nice rounded pin, just a reasonable all-round shape. I went with kind of more of a, I suppose, a shortboard, more of a shortboard inspired concave, because again, I'm not going to be on the nose much, so I don't need that late tail flip. I don't need a rounded rail in the back end. I don't need a 50-50 rail in the middle. I don't want a rolled bottom. Like this is basically going to be a low rockered. It's like it's like an all-round performance board, but a lot more practical for here. So flatter rocker, thicker, wider, but with the same characteristics of like the McTavish Fireballs and the Waldens and the stuff of the day that are just good all-rounders for people that aren't advanced in their like traditional logging skills, which is me. So we got I actually ran a single concave all the way through to the middle, and it breaks out into a V and goes into a double all the way through the fins, and then everything just mellows out off the back. We've gone 2+1, and we're just waiting. As you can see, we're waiting for glassing. I've gone with the got the Futures fin box system. That's a really good system. I quite like that. So it's actually gonna be the same as the FCS2 side. You actually put it in and then you glass it over and then you sand it back. So for strength and cleanness of look, I think it's pretty hard to beat from what I've seen. So I'm quite looking forward to getting that one all sorted out and glassed in. Yeah, rails are it's quite thick in the deck, and then the rails are quite lowered. So yeah, no, pretty pleased with this one too. I'll try and bring it round over there a bit so I can just show you the rails and the deck and the bottom. But they're so fragile at this stage. Like, always scared to play around. So they give you a bit of an idea of like the rails down there. You can probably you might be able to see a bit of the bottom there as well. Just a bit of flick in the tail and single to double and V. Yeah, just a nice all-round board. I'm quite looking forward to this. Hope it comes out really well. So I'm pretty happy with the rails and the profile of that. And yeah, as I say, that Futures fin box system. Hope you can see all this. Sorry, it's a bit awkward with the bit of longboards and zero space in the house. So yeah, that's the longboard side, and I've got a couple of shorter boards that I'm in the middle of that I'm going to show you, and probably give you a bit of a laugh as well with one of them. All right, next. So back to the world of shortboards that I'm shaping. It's a bit of a, well, I don't know, I still call this a performance hybrid, but you know, it's not. I'm not a performance surface, and most people are like, yeah, that's not a performance board. It's like, well, it's a hybrid for me as a daily driver for when the waves are half decent. That's basically, it'll need a decent wave for what we get locally to go. So kind of mid rocker, a bit shorter, wider than your old school short boards. It's right along the lines of like a Black Box 3 or Uber XL or one of those kind of boards. I'm really happy with the foil. The thickness came out really good, and the rails and the transition from the stringer to the rails come out really nice. Kept a good bit of volume just under the chest. Length's good. Really happy with the squash tail shape. Yeah, it's just a good all round, like a daily driver template for waves probably 2 to 3 foot and over. Yeah, concaves, went with a single, just the usual concave. I really like this concave, it works well on most stuff. So we're going single all the way through here, deepest about under the front foot, and then breaks into a double through the fins, and V just off the tail, just from the back fin backwards basically. And nice hard edge. I'll probably build that up quite a bit and try and get it like really sharp through the back. Pretty happy with how the rails came out and the transition down from the stringer to the rail. So you'll probably see quite a few imperfections still in it, because it's still I always do two hot coats to sand them back and do a second hot coat. So you'll see, like when I've finished, obviously the fin boxes still need to be shown out, and all this needs to be cleaned up. You'll see some like bits and bobs and fish eyes, and you can see where the free lap's still there. So once it's been sanded back and another hot coat, that'll all be sweet. Yeah, so just a good all-rounder really, and really happy with that one. It's come out really good, so I'm looking forward to finishing that up and giving it a ride. Using the Futures leash system, so that's really good. Leash system, that'd be quite good. Yeah, so Futures leash system, that's really good because you actually route it out and it sits in and then you glass over it. So again, look a bit scruffy at the minute, but that'll look really tidy once it's done, and it gives you a nice clean bottom to it. Yeah, that's that one. And then yeah, time to give you a little bit of a laugh with this bad boy. So this was kind of like inspired by, I guess I was trying to do a template sort of, the new Glazer had come out from Machado. I was like, oh yeah, I could probably like to knock something up similar, but maybe a little bit more sort of retro-y looking as well. And you know, there's like the Hypto Cryptos and all the other boards like that. But yeah, I just wanted to change the shape a bit differently. So I'm actually really stoked with the shape. The board was gonna be for me, but by the time I'm just getting used to the plane, I've got a proper shapers plane now, and it's a bit of a step backwards from what I'm used to, where I was okay with the hand tools. So by the time I got some of the wobbles out, it was the thickness was going to be like 2 7/8, but it came out as a 2.5 board by the time I got it all tidy. So, but that's all right. I mean, there's plenty of yeah. I need to start selling a few of them. Really, I can't keep making them for experience, and then if I keep them, I'm just going to have boards everywhere. So yeah. So this was my first cut lap and resin tint. So I'll show you this side, because this side I actually quite like. It's come out like kind of acid wash. So this is the front side, got a cut lap, and I was actually going for the purple, so it's supposed to be purple. This board is 6.0, 22 wide and 2.5. As you can see, it's got a super flat rocker. It's actually ended up being quite a down rail a lot of the way round, so it's going to be really fast, I suspect, and it'll probably still bite and hold really well with that tail. So yeah, really happy with that. And onto the other side. So I was trying to do a tint, and I thought I'd got the tint quantity right, and I put tint in, and I put probably about 4 times as much than I believed I was supposed to be using from speaking to friends and other things. And yeah, tested that on a test piece, and I was like, oh, I better not put any more pigment in it, basically, because I was worried I was starting to put too much in. And the solid purple came out like a bit of a pensioner's purple rinse. So that's the bottom, but it's actually kind of growing on me. It's kind of like an acid wash. It's kind of an acid wash purple. I actually really like the way it comes onto the rails. Yeah, the bottom sort of came out a bit uneven and inconsistent. It's actually really good feedback to your glassing, because it shows you, I mean, on the clear, obviously, you can get away with your squeegee strokes, and your lay down of the resin can actually be a bit more, they don't need to be as precise. And then with this, it's actually really important where you get how much soak, where you wipe it off, how long you leave it sat on each layer, you know, where you leave it sat, because it's all like, the more it saturates into more foam and more cloth, the darker it's going to be. So I was obviously deliberately going for this thicker fin patch to get thicker around the fin patch, but then I've ended up with an overbuild around the rails, and you know, there's a couple of bits here, and it's actually quite good feedback, because it shows you back to your glassing. And yeah, I've actually made some improvements on the next one after I'd done this, so it's kind of good from that point of view. And it's all you know, it's all fine. It's still a great shape. It's 5 fin futures. I'm going to go for a nice hard edge in the back of this as well, and make it. I think this board's actually going to be really fast, and then the rail's quite refined. So I think someone will really like this board. Same sort of thing, fairly bit more subtle, but we got a single, double through the fins, V off the tail. But by the time I build the resin up and get it all flat, the V's probably going to be pretty subtle, I should imagine. But that's all good. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with this one. I mean, it's a really cool outline. It's kind of funky with the acid wash. I actually did a bit different glass schedule as well on this one, because so I ended up doing there's a 4 here, and then another 4 here, and then another 4 over the whole lot. So you actually get 2 extra little patches that you can see the color difference. So if I had done that in color, that would have really stood out. But I like the after I'd done the cut lap, I like the look of the deck so much, I just wanted to keep it clear, basically. Yeah, so obviously, as you can see, there's a bit of resin build up that needs sorting out there, and get the fin boxes back out. And obviously it's a wee bit, she's a little washy in the tail, but I don't know, it's like, could be an accidental win. I don't know. I thought it was a fail at first. Anyway, yeah, and that's all good. Like I say, this one will get tidied up. I'll probably have a ride of it, try and ride it myself, and then might let one of my mates ride it. He's quite a good surfer, and then I'll probably look at selling this one, I think, because if it's unless it's got enough float for me, but I think it's going to be down on float for me. So yeah, if anyone's if anyone's watching out, this one might appear on Trade Me at some point, but so I think it's going to be a really good board. Yeah, I think that's it for me for today, guys. Keep an eye out. I've got the Lost Party Crasher, so I'll try and do a review on that soon. That's a cool board. That's you know, it's like a big guy short board basically, but the rocker's really mellow, so it's basically pretty much a giant rocket, but the thickness and foil has been really designed correct for those sizes. So if you went to if you went and got yourself a 6.6 rocket, it'd just be massive, but it's really nicely foiled. So I've got the 610 Party Crasher, and I've been really enjoying that, especially as you're in poorer waves and as you're getting older. It's just giving you that margin of error, and the tail being refined, the way it actually rides off the back is still really quite nice. So yeah, I've been impressed with that board so far. So yeah, cheers for watching, guys. Hope you like some of the stuff I've been up to, and yeah, I'll catch you soon. Cheers.